Hello, everyone. In your Do Now today I wanted you thinking about song lyrics and how they impact your life and the words in music, not necessarily the sounds and the instruments, but like the words being used. How important are those to you or society? We're going to be talking about protest music today from the civil rights movement, from Vietnam, this era of protest. What were people listening to, and what sort of songs were designed to sort of protest against things? So remember, this is an era of large scale protest. We have anti Vietnam, anti war protest, civil rights protest, women's rights protest, gay rights protest. You have lots of different people trying to get their voices heard and create change in the country. And it created sort of this like culture where people were protesting every day. It was a lifestyle. And the music they listened to reflected that. Songs, lots of songs during this time had references to war or racism or discrimination and want to change the system. A lot of musicians felt it was their job to use their power, their voice, to change the country for good. Um, Here's some pictures of some musicians with that sort of protest culture. This is from a music event called Woodstock, which really represents a lot of the 1960s, sort of this hippie protest culture. It was supposed to be this small music event in New York, like up in the hills, like not even in the city. It was just out in the field in the middle of nowhere. And these big musicians started to agree to go, and hundreds of thousands of people showed up. And it wasn't very hygienic or anything. There's a lot of problems with it, but it sort of goes down as this mark of like this protest culture of the 60s was really symbolized by Woodstock. And you can see all the people, and it was like a 3 day long musical festival and all that. Today we're going to listen to a few songs. The first two are by a guy named Bob Dylan, who actually won a Nobel Prize for his song lyrics because they're essentially poetry. Um, he wrote a lot about issues of racism and inequality, and he wanted to change that. So for a while, he was probably the biggest musician in the world. So we'll listen to a couple of his songs. The first one's called "Blown in the Wind." So we'll listen to this one. As you listen, you can follow the lyrics, you can watch the pictures, and then we're going to write a response on a Pear Deck after this. So on the Pear Deck, what are your thoughts about this song or lyric? Did you like it? Dislike it? Did you hear anything that sort of stood out to you, that sort of connected to something we learned in class? Did you recognize any of these lines as something specific? And what do you think they mean? So you can pause this video and write your responses. Our next song by Bob Dylan is called "The Times They Are a Changin'." So same thing, we'll listen to the song. You can watch the video, listen to the lyrics, think about them. Same questions. What are your thoughts? Also, what sort of lines stood out to you and connected to you? Similar to something we learned in class, what do those lines mean? The next person we're going to listen to is Barry McGuire. He wasn't necessarily a very big or famous musician. I think he only had one real hit. But the stuff he talked about really relates to stuff we were talking about in class. There's lots of connections. He makes a lot of historical references in his songs, although when he did it, it was current event. So we're going to listen to him. And as you listen, follow along to the pictures, the lyrics. Your job for this activity is for each part of the song is pick out a line and explain what is he talking about. For our exit slip today, I want you thinking about modern day music you listen to. Are there any examples of protest, people wanting to change society for the better? What words or lyrics do they use, and what impact does it have on society?